Hello Game Boys and Game Girls, I'm the Game Boy Guru and welcome to another Shmup Club announcement. June 2022 kicks off the Summer of Raiden. And of course I'm wearing my Raiden t-shirt here right now, and we're going to kick things off with the original Raiden. There are multiple ways to play that now. There's an Arcade Archives release that you can play on the Nintendo Switch and possibly PS4. I'll have to double check that. The Raiden Project on PS1 is an excellent option. This is a very good collection that has both Raiden and Raiden 2, and is a very solid way to play these games. You also have the Sega Genesis version, which is interesting because it has an exclusive stage that is only available here, and it's a pretty good conversion. There's the Super Nintendo version, which I don't necessarily recommend. It's not a great version of the game, but it is a way to play it, and I will be checking this out at some point during the month just to compare and contrast with other versions. There's also the TurboGrafx version, which is solid, and the related PC Engine version, which is essentially the same game, but with a redone soundtrack. It's out on the Jaguar, so if you have an Atari Jaguar and snagged that cart before it became more prohibitively expensive, then that's a way to do it. There's a DOS version that came out in the 90s. I'm not sure how viable that is to play today, whether that's something you can do via DOSBox or a similar process or not. There's even a port that came out on the Atari Lynx. It was well after the Atari Lynx's commercial fortunes had waned, and it was done by Telegames. It's an interesting version, and I'm going to be taking a look at that as well, since there's a Lynx core on the Mister. So I'm going to be playing that a little bit, and just to kind of see how that works. But lots of ways to play Raiden. And this is a classic. It's one of those games that has really been influential over many years, and one of the interesting things about Raiden and the fact that it's been so influential is that Raiden itself is in many ways an homage to early Toaplan. If you look at the way this game plays and a lot of the basics of it, in a lot of respects, it's a somewhat stripped down Kyoku Tiger, known here in the West as Twin Cobra. Now, obviously, it's not just a carbon copy. There are other elements added and a couple of other things that were tweaked to make Raiden stand a little bit more on its own. But the initial game does feel as though Seibu Kaihatsu were really just aping Toaplan as much as they could. But in 1990, when this came out, it was a big deal. And especially here in the West, you saw this everywhere. You could see Raiden arcade cabs just about anywhere you went. And it was quite a big deal. Which, of course, accounts for why there are so many different versions of the game out on different consoles. So anyway, the original Raiden will be our June 2022 game for the RF Generation Shmup Club. I'll have a link in the description where you can go sign up to participate. You can also check out the RF Gen Discord linked on the front of rfgeneration.com, or our podcast, Shoot the Corecast. Go to @ShootCoreCast on Twitter. I'll link to that as well. And you can tweet your participation to us there. Let us know what version you're playing. Send us screenshots of your high scores or photos, depending on how you play. And just let us know what you think about Raiden. And especially in the context of today, given how many innovative shooting games came out after this game was released, how many of those were influenced by Raiden, and then how many of those deviated from the sort of Raiden formula completely. And I'm also curious to know if anyone out there plays this and then thinks that perhaps Toaplan saw how much Raiden copied it, and whether or not they took any of the elements, or you think there are any elements from Raiden or Raiden 2 that maybe Toaplan borrowed later to sort of repay the favor, if you will. So anyway, I'm curious to kind of get everybody's thoughts on this, because this is one of those games very iconic and very well remembered and well liked, and so it'll be interesting to see all these years later, more than 30 years later, whether the nostalgia is still a powerful drug, so to speak, or if people's opinions have generally cooled on Raiden. So anyway, let us know. All the links will be in the description for you to join in and participate and play along with us. And then we'll have some good discussion on the podcast the following month and kick off the Summer of Raiden in fine fashion. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and also subscribe so you can see more videos in your YouTube feed. I'll have a link in the description as well to my blog where you can check out my Game Boy reviews. That is gameboyguru.blogspot.com. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and game on.